What is up, everybody? This is Nicolett Electra here with another video for you guys. So today we're going to be talking about the 5 misconceptions of being a freelancer. So to give you a little bit of backstory, I have been a freelance photographer per se for the past 2 years. Before then, it was I had a lot of different jobs, and with the jobs I would do photo work, but it wasn't something that I took seriously for a full-time kind of thing. And then now, as being a full-time freelancer for the past 2 years, there's a lot of different misconceptions that I know I had going into it, and I know that other people have kind of commented towards me just on a regular basis, and I'm like, wait a minute, you got it twisted. So the first one is that it's easy. I know time and time again in the past, I used to really think it was easy. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna go and take photos and it's gonna be great. And slowly I kind of realized that not everyone wants to pay your rate, that sometimes I wasn't even that good, and that just I felt like it'd be faster, I was like, yo, I got this, I'm good. But I never reached that point up until about 2 years ago where I could say yo, I freelance. The next misconception that I always get is that, oh, well, you freelance, you can make your own schedule, right? That's amazing. You can make your own schedule. And yes, you can, but also no, you can't. I find myself that I really don't have a schedule. I feel like I'm working every single day, weekends, weekdays, mornings. Literally the time right now is 8:49, so nights. It's I'm all over the place. There's this thing where when you freelance, you always are trying to figure out ways to make money. Maybe I'm just in the early stages, which is very likely, but there's always a sense of what more can I do to make income? You're never really off, is basically what I'm saying. Mornings you wake up, you do your routine, but you're always sending out emails, trying to find more clients. You're always trying to edit, you might go shoot, and when you shoot, it's not over with, you come home.
You gotta edit, you gotta process, you gotta make sure the internet is working, and you gotta send that out, and then if they don't get it, you gotta follow up, you gotta make sure they download it, then you gotta go reach out to the next client who also...
It doesn't end, and even when you're on vacation, it doesn't end, because if you take 1 week off of reaching out to clients, editing, etc., it puts you behind for sometimes a week, sometimes a month. So yeah, the idea that you make your own schedule, it doesn't exist, I don't think, personally. The next one that I get is oh yeah, well, as a freelancer, it's totally not like a job, Yes, there's a degree that I can say yo, I have a dream life, things that I've always wanted, I am finally doing, and I do think that that's really awesome and amazing. But there is a jobby sense to it. And like I was saying with the previous one, you're sending out emails, you're contacting clients, you're doing all of this stuff. And yeah, you might not be working a 9 to 5, you might not be working in the restaurant space, but at the end of the day, you are doing very jobby, mundane things. The key though with that, as being a freelancer, is if you are doing these mundane things and you're doing yada yada, make sure that you're doing it with something that you actually enjoy. I think that's the biggest thing. If you love talking to people, serving people, you want to be the best freaking waitress, dude, that's great. Do it. Don't let anybody sit there and tell you oh, a waitress, it's not that great. Or oh, you work in a grocery store, that's not that great. No, whatever you like doing, do it. Great, and do a great job at it. Job or not. But just realize that dream thing that you might say oh, freelancing this, don't forget that's kind of a job in itself as well, so don't get that twisted. The next one that I get is that it's a get rich quick kind of thing. I know even with me early on, it was yo, not even with photos, with really anything that I've done. I've started so many businesses and also crashed them, and then said, all right, throw some dirt on them and like, let's move on to the next one. And I'm always with this idea in my head of like, yo, I'm gonna make some money real quick. And like, yeah, you might make 30 bucks real quick, but like, there's no sustainability to it. So you have to keep working hard for months, for weeks, for years in order to reach that point where you have that like client base and those people behind you in order to like, you know, make money for yourself moving forward. So it's definitely a misconception that like, oh, like I'm gonna pick up this camera and I'm gonna make a few $100,000. Like, and it don't work like that, you know? So yeah, if you're coming into freelance and you're thinking like, yo, I'm gonna make so much money, like it takes time to get there and it's hella stressful. And yeah. And then the last misconception that I have is that it's like the best choice of life. And it's like the best thing you could do is be a freelancer. And like I said a little bit earlier, like, yes, it is great. I enjoy it. Other times I'm freelancing and I'm thinking like, this is so mundane. Oh my God, what am I doing with my life? Like this is, you know, like any job, any career path you choose, I think you have those highs and those lows. And especially with freelancing, I think that this is something that's only meant for certain people. Maybe that sounds messed up to say, I don't know. But I mean that in a way of like, this takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes a lot of consistency. And it takes a lot of like being open to like failure and stuff. You know, you gotta go through tough times, I think, with freelancing, where like you're buying the used clothes, you're not buying clothes, you know, you don't have enough money for X, Y, and Z because you weren't able to make X, Y, Z. You know, there's a lot of like things that can really set you off, especially when you're used to like having a 9 to 5 and saying like, hey, I get a check every week or every 2 weeks. When you don't know when your next check is, it kind of can create a mental strain on yourself. So it's not the best life for everybody, if that makes sense. So moral of the story. I think it's a great idea to freelance, and if this is something that you enjoy or this is something that you feel like truly inside of you want to try, I say do it. Just know that you gotta be in it for the long haul, because it's not something that pays off in the first year. It's not something that pays off in the second year. Sometimes not even in the third year or the fourth year. But like if you're persistent enough, it might come for you, you know, 5 years down the line, might come for you 6 years down the line, might come to you even sooner. I don't know. Everyone's got a different path. But, you know, the premise is, I think freelancing is great, but don't get it twisted. There's definitely certain things that, you know, like aren't as easy or people don't talk about as much. It's not fun and games for the most part, but it can be fun and games at points. So if you guys like this video, which I hope that you guys did, definitely don't feel, what am I saying? If you guys liked this video, fantastic. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button or that like button or both. I will be back again on Monday with a makeup video for you guys, and then again on a Wednesday with a wasting, you know. Yeah.